Hey guys, and welcome to part 6 of how to actually get a client owning a clipping agency. Dude, I'm sorry if you're hearing dropping. There's a hole in my wall or my ceiling and it's dripping and it's raining outside. Whatever. Anyway, so what we've learned is that first we need to identify your target audience. Then we need to enrich the data. Now, for identifying your target audience, you need two things. What are the two things? Say them out loud. They need money and they need to have clippable content. Those are the most important things. More so clippable content. If they have clippable content, they're probably already rich. Next, you need to enrich the data. Find all of the platforms and the modes of contact. Email, LinkedIn, Twitter, Discord. Then we need to craft the outreach message. That's really important. We went over a module about that. Then we set the right outreach mindset. You need to understand that, okay, I'm going to send out a lot of messages. They're going to be very personalized. And I'm going to get rejected. But I need to keep going. That's just how it is. Next, we talk about uploading and managing the CRM system. Uploading, tagging the notes. We already mentioned that. Next, we talk about sending the automations or sending the actual outreaches. Now, we typically don't want to do automated. You want to do manual at first, unless you want to get VAs. Remember, setting up your actual Instagram profile. Next, book the call. This is so important that I have probably lost so many clients because I haven't done this. Okay, so you're in your Instagram DMs. You send the message and you're sending the follow-ups. They respond, hey, this sounds interesting. Yeah, I'm not against that. I know it's going to seem crazy. They're going to ask questions. Push the call. Push the call. Push the God-forsaken call. I can't tell you how many times this has happened. That people ask these questions and they keep asking questions and I never have a book a call. Because a book a call is how you actually close them. I'm going to pull up my phone and read you off the messages that exactly close a client that we got a message to. So here it is. So this is actually it. I sent my outreach message. They responded, thanks, Jay. We've tried this before and didn't see much results with this. Can you share more details with Steve on the process and price and the results we could expect? So they're asking questions. They always ask questions. Then Steve responded, good to meet you, Jay. Thanks for thinking of us with your clipping strategy. Lewis mentioned it, but I'll keep an eye out for your follow-up. We'll go from there soon. The next message I sent one message. Then the next message, they said, hey, tomorrow at 10 Central Time works. What's the best way to connect? So you need to push a call. So this is what I said. Sure, thanks. And thank you all for getting back to me quickly. It's much easier to explain over the phone, but I'll give you a quick rundown. Then I just kind of briefly explain what clipping is. And I'm basically saying, like, it's hard to know exactly what you need, so I'm happy to answer everything over a call. And then this is the thing that Eddie taught, but you don't want to be like, when are you free? You need to be like, are you free here or here? Instead of thinking yes or no, they're thinking this or that. And both the this or that are times that they're meeting with you. If that makes sense. So I said, so you need to kind of phrase it as, hey, you need to phrase it like, it's much easier to explain over the phone. Here, we do clipping. We essentially have all these clipper content. It's hard to know exactly what you're after. Again, it's way easier to explain over the phone. Does 5 p.m. work or 6 p.m. work? Or whatever. Usually I do like, I'm free for the next hour or tomorrow at 10 a.m. That's usually what I do, and it works fantastically. They're going to ask questions, answering the question, but also be like, it's way easier to explain all the questions you have over the phone. You need to book the call, bro. You need to have the CTA call them to the call immediately. And I just create a Zoom link. Like, you don't need to like have like this calendar thing. Like, you can do that and they can pick out a time, but I recommend that you wouldn't. Like, this is just so important because it's going to absolutely just burn you up if you don't do this. Like, you absolutely have to, you have to push for a call. You can't close, it's like, it's impossible to close someone over text message. You know this. Would you rather like have a super long conversation on someone for text or phone? Phone. Oh my God. Come on. Jesus. Anyway, so push the call. You just got to push the call. That's all it is. So, like I said, You need to push the call. Validate. You got first off, answer the questions. They'll be like, hey, what does this do? Explain it. Be like, hey, it's easier to explain over the phone. It's hard to know exactly what you want. When does this time or this time work? Works fabulous. Okay, so now that you know this, you'll book calls. Now what you're gonna do is now you're gonna have your pre-call messaging reminders and confirmations, because sales calls are a whole different beast. See you soon.